We're back, baby. This is the male soap opera moment, and I'm not alone. After all, I am joined by the one, the only, the wrestling encyclopedia, and new Wenz World Prediction Champion. Yes? You want me to check my phone? Not this again. All right, you're the champ. You make the call. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the greatest of all time, the man that every lady dreams of having his pizza baby. Celebrating with all of you here in Wenz World, the undisputed prediction champion, Vincent Kennedy Bucci.
Oh, it feels so good to hear and feel so good. My shoulders felt so lonely. But at Survivor Series, justice prevailed with a perfect score. Praise be to the one true king.
The one true king that loses more often than not here recently. I mean, let's be real here. How long did I hold those titles?
Quite a while, but good things come to those who wait.
No, good things come to those who actually work their asses off. And it's all right. It's all right. We're here. We are here to right the wrong. To right the wrong that was committed by that gimmick-stealing, car-eating bastard. And it's all right. We'll get to it. The predictions tonight, we got predictions going on here. So the Saturday night's main event, this right will be wrong. This wrong will be righted. I will get my titles back. Well, at least one of them.
Yeah.
I'll have to wait. I will have to wait to the Rumble to get the other back. It happens.
Yes, I'm just clarifying. I'm only defending this one, and I'm doing it for one reason and one reason only. And ironically, it's the only reason I would even bother to watch this card. And that's because we are witnessing the final time of the true great one, John Cena. So out of respect for the man and everything he's done, I will put this title on the line one time at Saturday night's main event. But sadly, Des, you will have to wait till the Royal Rumble in the Kingdom of Saudi to try and take this other one from me.
Honoring 26 years of wrestling greatness, from Thugonomics to the balding spot we see today, we are celebrating John Cena. And I'm very excited to get to that. That's going to be... How many years is it?
23. He did in
23.
Well, I'm counting Ohio Valley too. So you got to count that.
Well, he does. In the beginning, he was saying 25 years in the beginning of his heel turn because he was counting the time he spent in OVW. But then he later switched to 23 when people kept saying they're talking more about his debut. They don't talk about much about his OVW time.
Yeah, nobody counts your time in the Indies.
Yes.
Well, I think you sound like sour grapes right now because you don't have your title. I don't think this would matter as much to you if you still had the gold around your shoulder. But hey, listen. That's just my opinion. We'll get to Saturday night's main event, but before we get to that, I want to talk about how we came to this juggernaut we see before us with this what would you call it? This Adonis you see before you with two straps on both shoulders. I mean, this is what Greek mythology was made of here. Vincent Kennedy Bucci, and it all happened.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. A lot of Greek mythology showed fat guys.
Again, Bucci catching strays. Listen.
Hey, they're bouncing off my belts. Yeah,
Bucci's been catching strays for me for how long now?
I'd say about 12, 13, almost 14. Almost 14 in April.
Well, they're not strays at that point. That's for sure. Those are calculated shots. But we don't have any time for all this nonsense. Let's get to it. Survivor Series War Games. Team Rhea won, Dominic won, Stephanie Vacker won, and the Vision won. It's been about 2 weeks. Anything that really stands out that you guys are just itching to get off your chest right now about those matches?
Not the matches themselves. I do have an issue immediately with Survivor Series as a whole. This is one of the big 4 pay-per-views. Why the fuck were there only 4 matches on the card? That is an insult to the legacy of Survivor Series.
How many matches does it deserve, Des?
Bare minimum 7 matches. And I'll tell you right now, 2 of those matches did not need to be War Games. As a matter of fact, not one of the matches that was on the card deserved to be War Games. Because it really truly felt like we're just going to throw these teams together for no reason and have them take this fucking faction war ending match and make that the big deal. It makes no sense. Like, both War Games matches should have been 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series matches. Both of them. If there was going to be a War Games, it should have been the Wyatt 6 versus the MFTs.
I said that. Yep, I agree with that. And also, I will say this. At least with the men's War Games match, the men's War Games match was done the proper way. And it showed why, it proved why I preach what I preach every year come War Games time. Why you have it structured the way you do. Why the heels get the one-man advantage always. And how, this is a prime example of how psychology can be screwed all to hell if you go the other route with the baby faces. Because the women were like chickens with their heads cut off. The guys had the structure.
No. The women did an amazing job considering they flipped it because they had the powerhouse to start the match, so it didn't matter that they had a 1-person advantage.
Yeah, and
they actually did a good job of dominating. They did a good job of dominating the faces despite the fact that they were 1 person down every time.
Yeah, and then they had the phoniest spots I'd ever seen on God's green earth. I saw a referee botch. I saw 2 people fail a drop kick. And to top it all off, of course, no women's War Games is compete without Io Sky putting a garbage can on her head while everybody stands like they're waiting to take a picture. And here's the thing. Normally, she would do a crossbody. This time, she decided to do a senton, which would have worked except for one problem. Only 2 people, 4 people took a bump. What sense?
The first time she did a moonsault.
No, it was a senton.
She has done a moonsault with it as well.
She has done it on this night.
Oh no, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. Is you said normally she would do a crossbody. No, the first time she did a moonsault. She did a crossbody once. She did a moonsault once, and now she's done a swanton. She's done it different each time.
Okay, still, but I'm saying 2 people got hit, 4 people took a bump.
Oh, I agree with that. I 100% agree with that.
This was not structured properly. In fact, with the Vision match, if I had one complaint, I didn't like the fact that Brock and Roman had a spot outside the cage. I believe when you're in War Games, you are in the cage and you stay there. Somehow they worked the loophole. I don't know what loophole they're going to pull with that because you're not supposed to leave the cage, period. But somehow they let Brock step out of the cage and do that stupid spot with Roman outside. That was unnecessary.
Well, I guess the loophole is the match didn't technically start until they were all in the ring.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're going to use that, but technically you're not supposed to leave a War Games cage. That's why it's supposed to be locked. That's why it's supposed to be a lid on top. It takes away, but outside of that, the main event was.
I don't mind the lid on top difference, but I agree that they should not have left the cage. But like that is the only loophole I could see is technically until they're all in the ring, the match hasn't started.
And that's a loophole you use as an excuse to do this spot. Not that it was a regular thing when it first started. But yeah, so the main event was the only match that didn't annoy me. Everything else was just kind of like, are you serious? I mean, Nikki and Stephanie was decent. I wouldn't say it was kind of like one of those in the middle matches. Like it wasn't good, but it didn't suck either. And then everything else was just like, what the fuck?
I mean, personally, I love the Dom Cena match. I loved it. I love how Liv came back. Like,
oh yeah, 100%. I agree to that. I think all 4 matches had their moments. There were some botches in the women's match. I agree. And I'm a little salty about the fact that I was wrong on the men's war game match and therefore lost my belt.
Uh-huh.
You were also wrong on the IC title match too.
Well, yeah, but if I'd have won that one, if I would have won either one of those two matches, I would still be champion because Vinny would have been wrong on them.
Well, yeah.
And then it would have been a tie, and I would have maintained my
It would have
belt.
been a tie. It was either I win or it's a tie, and you keep your belt. So
And that's all that matters.
I don't lose, but I don't win.
Oh, you still lose. You still lose because I still got the belt.
If that's how you want to do it.
And look, I am a true heel through and through.
Indeed you are.
Yeah.
Ends justify the means, my man. Ends justify the means.
Yes, strategy. I get it. And then like really, Liv Morgan, in my opinion, is the only person who really shined at the end of all this. And I think the loudest pop was for her. Because obviously there was the punch to Dominic, which at first I thought that is the weakest, dumbest looking punch and sell I've ever seen. But because she fooled Cena, that actually works.
I think it was supposed to be a slap, like she just wide-handed slapped him.
No, she had a closed fist.
I will rewatch it again, but at no point do I feel like she had a true closed fist.
If you see a slap, then it moved really fast. But I swear I saw a closed fist. Could be wrong. But I'm just saying, she hit that, Dominic takes the bump. I'm like, first of all, didn't even touch him, didn't take a bump. This looks stupid. But as soon as she kicked Cena in the balls, I went, okay, here's a loophole. You could say she faked it to fool Cena. So you could pull that off. So there was something this match where I went, this is fucking ridiculous, but I could see a justification. Except for the pop rocks from Roxanne Perez. That was phonier than a football bat. But everything else, kind of workaround. Like Raquel Rodriguez slamming Cena. Okay, she has a China-like physique. You could get away with that. And I also get that heels have interference. But there is such a thing as overkill, and there was overkill.
I legitimately felt like this was going to be the time that the fucking Judgment Day turned on him, and it didn't happen.
Right?
This would have been the time.
Yeah.
Because Dominic is so over, he could become a face at any moment.
And
He could.
This faction, and this faction is pretty much dead in the water.
Yeah.
If anything, I think the Judgment Day are holding back Dominic.
With Liv being back, they could potentially completely revive this faction. Dominic being the Intercontinental Champion, they could have Finn and JD become tag champions. Liv be the women's champion, and the other two and Raquel and Roxanne be the tag champions. You could legitimately revive with Liv being back. But that would officially make Liv Morgan the leader of the Judgment Day.
Oof.
And
Scary.
Yeah, and that's not going to look good for Finn and JD. I know that.
So that's a really fair synopsis, I think. We're about 2 weeks removed from that one. So let's move it on to this Saturday. Booch the Brave is your new alternative nickname because you are defending your belt on a Saturday night's main event. That is spectacular and officially endorsed here by Wenz World. So let's get to it, baby.
Is this the second or the third main event that we've defended it on?
Second.
I know we did it on the very first one when they first brought it back.
Defended it. Then we stopped. Then we decided to do it for this one because Cena's retirement. So this is the only second Saturday night's main event that we're defending on. Because I'm making it clear it's just this one. If I retain, I'm not defending on the 24th.
Fair enough.
You don't get another shot till the Rumble.
Yeah. I will only defend on big moments. Cena's retirement is one of them for Saturday night's main event. If they did something else real big on Saturday night's main event that made sense to defend it, I will do so. If they have 5 or 4 matches, I will consider it.
Well, this is going to be interesting, gents, because we got 4 matches, an even number. So one of you guys is going to have to disagree with the other. So let's get to it. We're going to kind of work in reverse order according to the WWE website. So let's go first to Bailey going against NXT's and Booch. Gently correct my pronunciation if I butcher these. Sol Ruka.
That sounds right.
Wow.
You
All
hit that
right.
perfectly.
Never heard of her. Tell me more.
Sol Ruka, she has kind of like a surfer type gimmick. She's like a bit of a surfer girl. and she's very good in the ring. She has a finishing move called the Soul Snatcher, which if the wrestler you're working with times it perfectly, it looks great. If the timing's off, it's the fakest move you'll ever see. It requires
That's the one where she does the flip off the corner, right?
yeah, she flips off the corner and then does like an
Or do a
RKO.
cutter.
It's like an RKO with a flip, basically, is what it is. And she can, and if timed properly, she can hit it out of nowhere. She can hit it with multiple people, but the other people have to sell it. And I'll give the NXT women credit. I've only seen her botch it twice. Everybody else is perfect.
And it sounds,
The timing's off. Not that she slipped.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about timing. The time.
it sounds like the in this case that the person taking it is the one at fault when it happens.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. So if there's a botch, it's not on her part, but it requires great timing, and a lot of people she's working with have timed it perfectly. So I give the credit where it's due. And I will say this: out of the 4 matches on here, this is the only match that was booked where I didn't go, "What the fuck?" Because Sol Ruca is, well, I mean, even though there's other women I would probably pick over Sol Ruca to have this spot, it's still not a bad choice. And her and Bayley, I think, will mesh very well together. And Cena made this clear on an interview with Chris Van Vliet. This is an exhibition. These are not storylines. This is literally a one and done. That's it. They're going to wrestle once, and then that's it. There's no feud. There's no stories carrying over. This is just the NXT people putting their business card down and trying to show WWE either you're ready for the big time or you're not ready for the big time. And I think Sol is ready for the big time, but this one is going to be the hardest one for me to call out of all of them. The other 3, I'm pretty much damn certain on, but this one, as the champ, I'm going to go out on a limb. I figure one of these NXT people got to win, and I think Sol has the best shot. Now, Zarya's in her corner, so there could be a possibility of a betrayal, but I'm going to roll the dice and say Sol Ruca is going to win this one.
Excellent. What about you, Desmond?
I agree with pretty much everything that Vinny said, especially right down to this being a really hard one to call. But I'm going to go out and say that Bayley has had a kind of a rough go of it. I don't see Bayley taking this L right now, so we'll go ahead and I'll call Bayley. I'll immediately say Bayley wins this one.
There you have it on the first match of the night. Let's go. You made a really good point, Desmond. I mean, she came back. Is the momentum something that she needs to stay the course? Or is she just going to be one of these kind of wrestlers that you put in a match with somebody that's up and coming? I mean, she isn't exactly a spring chicken anymore. And you got to wonder, is this going to keep them from keeping her shoulders off the mat? I'm just going to spoil the bunch right here. I think every NXT group and or member is going to win these matches. So I am going to take Sol Ruca.
All right.
All right. All right, there we go. First match down the tubes. Second match. This one's going to be fun. I feel like this is going to be a high-flying, spot-filled match. World Tag Team Champs AJ Styles and Dragon Lee take on Javon Evans and Leon Slater. Desmond, your thoughts on this match, sir?
This match, I agree with you once again. This is going to be so fun to watch. One, you have the Flyers. They all have the ability to fly, but you got the younger guys that are going to be able to learn from AJ Lee and he's with Dragon Lee, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
AJ Styles.
AJ Styles, yeah, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. I really think that this is the perfect situation. But I've got to stick with, to me, the only reason to give the NXT guys a win here is if you're calling them up and giving them a shot at the titles. I don't think they're doing that. So, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee.
There you have it. And our resident champion, Vincent Kennedy Bucci. Booch the Brave, what say you?
Oh, AJ and Dragon Lee are definitely winning this because here's the thing. If you love the Flyers, you're gonna enjoy this match. If you prefer your matches to have psychology and storytelling, you're gonna hate every second of this. Because Javon Evans has no psychology whatsoever. So this is literally, and here's the thing. He's one of those guys that's like, he's getting a push, and I can leave you a list of people better than him. The fact that there's 4 matches, you got a stacked deck, and you pick this sumbitch. It's just like in the My Time Is Now tournament. You have a plethora of NXT talent ready for the big time, have the entire total package, and they pick the one guy who flip-flop flies and almost dies. Like, I'm looking at Trick Williams. I'm looking at Tony D. I'm looking at Ethan Page. I'm looking at Ricky Saints. I'm looking at Channing Stacks Lorenzo, Dion Lennox, Charlie Dempsey, Jasper Troy, Josh Briggs, Joe Hendry. These guys are sitting on the sidelines, and you got Javon Evans and Leon Slater, which, if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, did they not say this would be an exhibition between WWE stars and NXT? I believe that was the selling point.
Yeah.
Why is Leon Slater here when he goes to TNA? He's a TNA wrestler. He shouldn't even be in this match.
Because he's been.
They never mentioned TNA. They said WWE and NXT.
He's been making appearances on NXT. That's all they care about.
God, I hate Shawn Michaels. So, obviously,
No, you don't.
Dragon, you're winning. As a wrestler, no. As a booker,
Bitter chin music, Booch. Bitter chin music. Continue.
But yeah, I'm saying I'm going with AJ Styles and Dragon Lee because they're not dropping the tag belts. Not only is Leon Slater still in TNA, he's the
Tag belts aren't on the line anyway.
Yeah. It's just, yeah.
It's exhibition. There's no tag belts on the line anyway.
Correct.
The belts were on the line. Did
No.
shit set?
Mm-mm.
Okay, the notes I had said it was the World Tag Team titles were on the line.
No, I think it's just champion versus champion, similar to what we've seen in
Okay, well,
PLE's past.
they're not the NXT Tag Team Champions, but
Yeah, no, it's not champion versus champion. It is an exhibition match.
okay.
Well,
Whoever wrote these notes,
well,
fuck you.
Let me clarify. What I see here is when you see Cody versus Obafemi as champion versus champion. What I mean is you're seeing the best versus the best, not necessarily according to Booch. According to the bookers here, this is what they think, right? And this clip is definitely going to make it a solo clip because I wonder if people agree with you, Booch. Like, I'm not an NXT guy, but you've raised a lot of names that even I've heard of, and I don't even watch NXT. And so that's kind of awkward that you feel so strongly about why people or how people got kind of dismissed out of these matches when they're deserving.
Yeah. And there's names I didn't even mention. I got to mention Lexus King, Luca Crucifino. Like, there's a list of people I can give you that should be in this spot because they're ready. And over fact, Javon ain't ready.
What about Slater?
Again, he's in TNA. You can't call him up.
Well, Desmond said he's been in NXT a few times, so I mean.
Well, the partnership is exclusive between NXT and TNA. They're not mixing the main roster people in. They only did that once, and that was when AJ Styles showed up at, I think it was one of the TNA pay-per-views. It was like an anniversary date, and since AJ's the face of that company, they let him make a, hello, how are you? I'm AJ Styles. Let me shake the hand of the new X Division champion. But as far as wrestling, that ain't happening. They're only.
And remember the AJ callback to his TNA days when he wore his whole getup against Dom. So that's a nice little callback there. But okay, interesting. So who you got?
I said Styles and Dragon Lee.
So that's it. Okay, Styles and Dragon Lee. I said before, I'm going to continue. The NXT guys will probably win this match. Our third match, this one's going to be difficult because I think, like, obviously Cody, because it's not titles are on the line. They're not on the line. This is just champ versus champ. The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes takes on Obafemi. This could be a fun one. Another, for the lack of a better term, this could be a good match, man. Like, I haven't seen much of Obafemi. I have a kid in my neighborhood whose name is Obafemi, so that's about as much as I know about that name. But I've heard of him. I've heard good things. But, Booch, I want your take. Is there somebody more deserving than Obafemi to face Cody Rhodes in your view?
Ricky Saints. I love Obafemi. Let me say this way, it's clear. I like Obafemi. Obviously, I don't like Javon and Leon, but I like Obafemi. I want to make that clear. This is not a Obafemi hate train. It's more like, kind of like how we felt about Roman Reigns for a while. We love the tribal chief gimmick. We love the OTC, but he was champion way too long. He got stale, and we got tired of it. Well, they took the belt off of him and finally gave it to Ricky Saints. That lasted 3 months, and then they literally decided at deadline, like last Saturday, to put the belt right back on him, on Obafemi, when Ricky Saints and Cody Rhodes, that's the match. That's the story. I mean, granted, there's no story here, but still, these guys have enough history that you could at least sell the people on it. Like, Cody and Oba is just Cody and Oba. Like, yeah, it's going to be a match, but I don't know. I don't know if the styles are going to mesh well together. It's intriguing. Like, it's just, I don't hate it, but I felt like this was more built for Ricky Saints. So it's more about, it's not I hate Oba. I felt Ricky deserved it more because I feel like him and Cody would have great chemistry. And as always, anytime you can give a fuck you to Tony Khan, I think is great. So I think it'd be great to see that. So that's just more for me. But again, I don't hate Obafemi. I hope the match is great, but Ricky Saints deserved it more in this case.
Who you have to win the match?
See, that's another reason. That's a tough one. Either one of them can't take an L. That's the hard part.
Dang.
That's another reason why this isn't good. If Cody beat Ricky, that'd be no big deal. But if Cody beats Oba, that means the American Nightmare beat the Rula, that's what he calls himself. And if Oba beats Cody, I don't know how it's going to make Cody look going into whatever match he's got next.
Not good.
I feel like this is I'm not going to get buried, but someone's going to take a hard hit. If that makes sense. So
who's it going to be?
I'm going to go with Cody just to be safe. Because I feel like, I don't think Cody's going to take the L, but I feel like Oba is you're going to see a lot of good things from Obafemi. Again, he's a great worker. I just feel like Oba should be wrestling the guy Cena's wrestling. That's how I would have booked this.
Desmond is chomping at the bit. Go ahead, Des.
No, I'm just sitting here thinking that we're only going to differ on one match tonight on this, because I'm going to say it's not safe to bet against Cody Rhodes. When Cody Rhodes is champion, you don't bet against him. Unless he is putting that title on the line and you are certain that he is giving it up. Cody Rhodes is winning this match.
It makes sense. It makes sense. I'm sticking to my guns. Like, this is my only shot. This is my only shot. And not just that, guys. This is WWE's chance to gracefully usher in the next generation of stars. And they can't force feed us. They've tried that in the past. It doesn't work. They've tried competitions, Tough Enough, so on and so forth. It doesn't work. This is the way to do it. This is the way to slowly introduce us. Not to mention, NXT is a staple on TV now. You can look it up and watch it. Back in the day, it was a weekly special on MTV, right? So, again, I gots to. But I'm interested, and now I want to watch this Starks kid, whose first name is actually Richard. I looked him up before this because I was on Wikipedia.
It's not Starks anymore. It's Saints. Get it right.
Ricky Starks was his name in AEW. He was Starks in AEW. When he was in AEW, he was Ricky Starks. WWE changed to Ricky Saints.
Oh, okay. Well, his real name is actually Richard Stark, so that's probably where that came from. All right, so the moment we've been waiting for, gentlemen, NXT is out. It's out. Okay, now we got the big boys in the ring. We got the Ring General going up against the 20+ whatever, I don't give a damn years. 17-time champion John Cena. Man, oh man. Booch, you're the champ, man. I want to give you first take on this. I'm extremely curious as to what you think about this match.
I think it's an embarrassment. I think this is quite possibly a slap in the face. Because Gunther does not need this. Even if John Cena was the Intercontinental Champion, it still wouldn't mean a damn thing because he's already been the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time. He's a 2-time World Heavyweight Champion. They say, oh, it'll make him dominant. He already is. It can make him look good in a match against Brock Lesnar. People have already been talking about that since he debuted on the roster. And despite how you guys may feel about him, this is another notch on the belt. He already retired Goldberg. He doesn't need this. Gunther does not need this. You know who did need this? The guy he unjustly tapped out on SmackDown, the guy they just buried 6 feet under, which makes me want to wring Triple H's neck and go, what the fuck did LA Knight do for you to treat him with such disrespect?
It was a long match, though. It was a long match. At least, right?
It doesn't matter. Longer don't mean better. You can have a 5-minute match. It can be better than a 20-minute one. Doesn't matter. The point is LA Knight, they tapped him out. They killed without. When you have a badass babyface like that and you tap him out, it's like when Jay tapped out Gunther. It slows you down. It's not good. So it was worse. LA Knight should have won. The fact he lost the match was bad enough. Tapping out made it even worse. Because now with LA Knight, you could have built a new babyface. Because outside of Cody Rhodes and CM Punk, he is the megastar. Everything he says he is. And I've known this all the way back when he was in TNA as Eli Drake. I saw it when I first saw him on TV. He was in a small faction with Drew McIntyre, it was Drew Galloway, and some NXT jobber that came in. First time he put a microphone in his hand, I'm like, this guy's a star. He spoke like a star. He walked like a star. He talked like a star. The LA Knight you see now was the Eli Drake you saw many, many years ago in TNA. And Triple H continues to hurt this guy, and I'm hearing all of his creative team be a bunch of hypocrites the entire time, especially Michael Pizza Shit Hayes. I'm listening to this guy on a fucking Unreal when they talked about, I think Punk should win the Royal Rumble, and someone picked, what about Jey Uso? And then PSAs hits this line. Well, Jey Uso was hot. You gotta strike while the iron's hot. Then explain why LA Knight's cooling down. That don't make no goddamn sense. I guarantee you this, they love LA Knight way more than they love Mr. Yeet, who's now back in the tag team division, thank the wrestling gods. So now we got to deal with this. So obviously Gunther's going to win. And at this point, from all the stuff I'm hearing John Cena say in interviews and how they treat his retirement tour, he might as well tap out. Just tap out Cena. Why not? He don't give a shit. He's made it very clear. He is willing to go out on his back. He does not care how he's booked. And you're already giving Gunther this spot anyway. So you might as well just tap him out. Gunther's going to win.
Wow. Booch, that was the most passionate take I think I've seen from you in months. And it comes from the heart, man. And though I don't agree with everything, I think you make a lot of valid points. Damascus Des, what say you, sir?
I think if Gunther was going to beat LA Knight by submission, it should have been through pass out, not tap out. Period. At least then, Knight looks like a badass for refusing to tap. That being said, then he's right. LA Knight deserved that win. LA Knight needed that win. I'm sitting here staring at I came into this knowing damn well that I was going to say that Gunther's going to win this. But I do remember on Monday Night Raw, the way that Gunther talked, saying that he was going to tap out Cena. And that promo, no matter, and it was a great promo by Gunther. It was a perfect promo by Gunther. Especially considering I didn't want to see this match either. But what if? What if this is the swerve? What if John Cena doesn't go out?
What?
And passing this on. What if John Cena wins this match, goes out on top, withstands everything Gunther puts out? There are only 4 matches on this card. We've differed on 1. What if I take a chance? And I'm going to take this chance because I think John Cena deserves to win this more than Gunther. I think John Cena will get more out of this than Gunther because Gunther doesn't need to beat John Cena. So I'm going out on a limb, going against the odds, against my original gut feeling. John Cena hits that AA one final time and pins Gunther.
Wow. First of all,
I'll just say,
Yeah.
if John Cena wins this match, I will probably hand this to you. Just so that's how bold this is. Now, if you get the win because of Bailey, I'll hand it over reluctantly. But John Cena, I will probably hand this to you. If John Cena can win this match, I will have no complaints handing this over, and then I'll just take it back at the Rumble. But I'm gonna hand it to you. If he wins.
So you might be getting a little bit ahead of yourself, guys. Okay, because
Oh, you're not winning.
here's the deal.
If more than one NXT guy wins, he gets the title.
Yeah, but we're not there yet. Here's the thing. Let me revisit. I'm gonna get to my pick here in a second, but I'm looking at this bracket that started in mid-November in the Cena tournament, right? So look at the people he beat. He beat Zack Ryder, he beat The Miz, and he beat Jey Uso. Gunther beat Javon Evans. So why is he in this match? To your point, should not be in this match. If you lose, you should not be featured in a upcoming pay-per-view. Just going to say that. So validates what you said, Booch. Then he beat Carmelo Hayes. Then he beat Solo Sikoa. Dare I say, LA Knight had the harder path. I mean, he had to go through a 2-time Grand Slam champion in The Miz.
I'll do you one better. He also had 2 matches where he didn't know who his opponent was going to be.
How do you prepare? How do you prepare? You don't. You don't. Kayfabe. Even if I don't care. Of course it's not. But
You prepare by doing what you've always done. You stay prepared.
That's right. You stay prepared. You don't have to get prepared. So, okay. All right. I mean, Desmond, I agree with you. John Cena promised us he would go out as champion. He said, I'm going to take this title with me and be the last real champion in WWE. I remember it. I was sitting on my couch. I was half asleep until I heard the music. Oh, whoa. And then here we go.
I'll say this. I think you used the wrong word there. You said promised. I say threatened. He threatened.
Either way, word is bond. Word is bond. And John Cena is not gonna break that promise. He is gonna go out on top. And I know it was during his heel phase. Now he's back being face. But it still means something to me. And Desmond, I agree with you. 100% agree with you. I think John Cena, rightfully so, even though I'm not a fan, I respect him, just not a fan, will go out on top. And he deserves it. Gunther does not deserve this. Nobody deserves it. I don't care who you are. John Cena needs to win this match. It's his return. He's such a team player, though, Booch, that I completely think he'd be like freaking possum on the side of the interstate. Don't run me over. I mean, just whatever. Hey, whatever you want, H. Whatever's good for the brand. He's that kind of guy, and it's great. But it pisses me off too because I feel like, dude, you've earned your shot. You call the end. You call it. How do you want it to end, John? And I don't know if they have enough respect or he has enough respect for himself to stand up and be like, dude.
Cena would 100% say he needs to pass the torch on his final match. If he called that shot, he would 100% say, I'm going to lose so that this next guy can flourish.
But he doesn't need to. To your point, he doesn't need to.
I agree.
As far as I'm concerned, he passed the torch when he lost to Cody at SummerSlam. The torch was already passed.
I agree.
He's just fulfilling a promise to the fans. That's what's happening. You pass the torch back to Cody. You pass the torch to Cody. You anointed him as the quarterback at SummerSlam. The rest of this is just you fulfilling your promise to do 36 dates. Even though, here's the interesting thing I found out.
240.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about this. John Cena, as we all know, had 36 dates this year. Now, we all were under the impression that, okay, John Cena's in Hollywood. He's got all these movies and pictures and Peacemaker and all this stuff. So he's going to give us 36 dates and take time out of his busy schedule. And you know what? Thank you, John. We appreciate that. You're giving us our thank you on the way out. Come to find out, John Cena wanted to work 220 dates in a full calendar year, but because WWE is run by freaking retards, they gave him only 36. He wanted to work full time. He was willing to do that.
he worked those kind of dates back before Triple H took over. And I will say this, the reason Triple H has done this and set it up this way, it helps to keep your talent healthy by giving them less dates. But I still think he could have done 100 dates and not all of them been matches.
That's the thing. Even if he did the full schedule, you don't have to wrestle every time. Just show up. Cut a couple promos, maybe a brief little brawl, and then break up, and then
build some stories. Build some stories.
Like I'm saying, like if they had took this Dominic Cena thing that they did here, and they put that in the middle of the month, and they had done like a rivalry with that, it wouldn't have bothered me so much. But because, again, it was overkill on the interference, it's his last PLE, the last Survivor Series, last ESPN, last time in San Diego, that ain't the shit you pull. That's just how I feel. But I'm saying, put that in the middle of the card, I would have loved it. Because then it would have told more of a story. But, like, this dude wanted to work a full-time schedule, and you said no. This is the shit that made Edge go to AEW, by the way.
Wow. I had no idea. I knew about Edge, but I had no idea that Cena wanted to work.
He talked about it with in his interview with Tom Rinaldi.
Nice.
He said, I wanted to work a full-time schedule. He had it all planned out with pitch decks about how it would help financially, everything else. They were planning it. And then all of a sudden, they're getting to the point and they changed their minds by the time everything got approved and said, we only need 36. So that was WWE telling him to work 36, not Cena saying, I'm only going to do 36. So it was that pull. So they're the reason it got shortened. And then also they said, was the heel turn planned? He said, no, they just threw that out there. And turns out the reason he didn't change his gear is because he had it all made months in advance. Because he knew what cities because he had different shirts for different cities. So that's why he didn't change his gear. Because it's like, I can't change it. We just approved everything.
Yeah. We just made 10,000 shirts. Yeah, exactly.
So that's why he didn't change his gear. Now, as far as the music, he probably could have changed that, but the gear was not going to change because it took months for everything cleared.
If he couldn't change the gear, it wouldn't have made sense to change the music.
That too.
I'm glad that they didn't change the music, but they kept the intros as basic as can be. You know, like it was just a number on the screen. How many more appearances? John Cena, like basic, very, very old school heel kind of like no sell. I'm not celebrating this. I don't even really. He sold it so well. I can't wait to see how this pans out because, ladies and gentlemen, we will have a clear-cut, defined Wenz World prediction champion. Desmond?
If Vinny gets one of the two that we were different on wrong and I get the other one right, it will be a tie. But Vinny said if Cena wins that he's handing that belt over.
Yeah, it was a win by that point. I mean,
that was hyperbole. Yeah, that was if you win by that point. Yeah,
that's if you actually win. That's if you actually win. Let me rephrase that. Okay.
Officially.
And they call me the heel. You see that? He made a promise. He said he used his words, and he went back on his word.
Oh, I'm a tweener. So I'm a tweener. So that's what I am. I'm saying, yeah, if the Cena thing leads to an actual win, yes, I'll hand this over. Because the only match we differed on was we were on Cena and Gunther and Sol Ruka and Bailey.
Yep.
So we got two right there. So yeah, if there's a tie, obviously nothing. But if he wins legitimately, yeah, I'll hand this over, no problem.
I know I'm not the only one excited about this, and for those of us 99%ers, not the 1%ers who have ESPN Unlimited, we'll be able to watch this on Peacock. I'm very excited. Let's get it. Saturday night, tune in, tune out, and you tune back in with us. You could tune out of the broadcast, but you tune back in with us when we recap this thing. Because I got a good feeling it's coming right back home, baby. But until then, we will never leave you without a few key catchphrases, one of which is, have a nice day.
Bang, bang.
And for once, the last time truly is now.